Hey fellas of YouTube, this is RWBY speaking, and I finally have the time to talk about RWBY Volume 9. After being busy with work a lot, here I am. Now, before I go into this video, I'm just going to say right here that I'm going to go deep into spoilers, so if you have not seen the entirety of this, you might want to, because here's your spoiler warning. This volume was just so crazy. I mean, not just the fact that it's loosely based off of Alice in Wonderland, but because of, like, the development, just the actions that occurred in this. I mentioned before in a previous video that Alice in Wonderland, the Walt Disney version from 1951, is a personal favorite of mine. I've loved this movie since I was a kid, and just before RWBY Volume 9 came out, like the first episode of that volume, I knew I had to rewatch this movie right here. But enough about Alice in Wonderland, we need to talk about Volume 9. So, it takes place right where we left off in Volume 8, where Team RWBY, Jean, and Neo, they fall down and end up on this island called the Ever After. And I think one of the reasons why it's called the Ever After is that where you die, you don't officially die, you ascend, and you come back as something else. So it's kind of like reincarnation. And we see this with one character, a new character called Little, this talking mouse who of course starts off as a little mouse and then comes back as a big mouse by the very end of this volume. We see that Team RWBY is struggling to go back to their world. They don't know how to get back. They just say, we have to go to the tree. But how do you get to the tree? But then later they're like, what if the tree is not a place where you go? Like, what if it's a place where you die? Like, what if there is no way off of Ever After? And so many questions are raised, because apparently this is all based off a book that they read as a kid. Like, apparently the main character of this story was a girl named Alex, and so they try to follow the book, but instead, the book isn't very accurate to the adventure they are on right now, because for many reasons. One of the reasons is Alex had a brother named Lewis. Another thing is that Alex wasn't the nicest of people. We also learned that Alex did not make it back, and that it was Lewis instead. In the beginning of the very first volume, like the very beginning of the series, we see that RWBY is so outgoing, so motivated, so inspiring that, yeah, we see that she is a good leader. She just really wants to be a huntress. But as the series progresses, we see that she slowly gets depressed, just slowly. But in Volume 9, we see that her depression really gets to her. She is starting to doubt herself. She is starting to feel unmotivated. She is starting to feel that she can't make it as a person. That she is just so unfit to be a leader, so unfit to be a huntress. And all because in Volume 8, where she learns that Penny died, she learns that the plan didn't go exactly as how she wanted it to. Just Cinder and Salem really gave RWBY a run for her money. And so RWBY just takes that as, maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just have a mental meltdown. Maybe I should just drink this cup and ascend. Maybe I should just come back as something else. But it doesn't last forever, because in the very last episode of this volume, RWBY comes back. She comes back as the same joyful person that she's always been. Failure sucks. We all know that for a fact. But it shouldn't stop us, just like it didn't stop RWBY. So when she comes back, she's kicking ass with her team. She's leading them against the Curious Cat. In the next volume, Volume 10, we're going to see a more inspiring RWBY. And I'm really excited about that. And now on to Blake and Yang. Now, like when Monty was still alive, the creator, I don't think it was his intentions for Blake and Yang to be together. I could be wrong, but I think what happened was later, as the series progressed, the writers were just like, okay, let's have Blake fall in love with Yang, because I think it was originally Blake and Sun together, but I don't know. Like I said, I could be wrong. But anyway, either way, Yang and Blank really have chemistry. Blank is the more shy, quiet type, the one who keeps to herself, whereas Yang is just the more, like, she's just gonna get you out of your shell. Like, one of the things that I find inspiring about these two in Volume 9 is that they're trying to be happy. Like, they're trying to be happy with each other, despite how tough the situation is. Yes, they're stranded on this island, but that doesn't mean that they can't progress as a couple. And when we have that bridge scene, like, that was just so well done. They get closer, they start saying nice things about each other, and then they have the kiss. Like I've never felt so happy for these two in my entire life. I also really like how they treated Neo's character. She's just that character where she's not after power, she just wants revenge on RWBY for what happened to Torchwick, and I just loved that scene. Well, despite how dark this scene was, I just liked that scene where she creates all these copies of people that were killed, including Torchwick. I just miss Torchwick so much, though. I think he was like my favorite villain in all of RWBY, because he was just so fun and just so charming, and just like we understood his motivation. So it was nice to see him again, even though it wasn't really him. After Neo gets RWBY to drink the cup and just ascend, sort of, that's when Neo realizes that she doesn't really have much direction in life. She doesn't have any other goals. Like, what happens after a villain gets revenge? Nothing. And so Neo, for some reason, starts feeling sympathy. She starts feeling like, what did I just do? Like, was revenge really necessary? Did it really make me happy? No, it did not. I did like at the end of this volume where Neo has that last moment with Torchwick's, Torchwick's like copy body, like that copy of Torchwick. He's just saying like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm not real. And that's when Neo learns to let go of the past. She falls down and she ascends. And we need to talk about Jean for a moment. Now, Jean in the first volume of RWBY, he was nothing compared to how we see him in Volume 9. It's like we're looking at two different characters, but at the same time, we see how his old self becomes the other self that we see in Volume 9. Jean in the first volume was just weak. He was trying so hard to be a hero. He was training with Para, but as like the series progresses, we see that he is already depressed while also trying so hard to be the hero. Like, that's his goal in life, just to be the hero that he's meant to be. And so once we get to Volume 9, we see that he is the Rusted Knight, a character that even Team RWBY really admires. They're just like, oh my god, the Rusted Knight. And then they see that it's just this old Jean with a beard and long hair. His voice is a bit deeper. They're just so shocked, but also really like, oh my god, you're a hero. But it turns out he's not the hero he wants to be. Not just because of he lost Para, not just because he killed Penny, but also because he couldn't save Alex nor Lewis. It's just one tragedy after another. That's why he's trying so hard to be the hero, and he literally goes crazy. Like, he just goes crazy that he just fits so well in the Ever After. But it's Team RWBY that really pulls him back into his old life. And I just loved that scene at the very end where he picks up the knife from Alex, and he gets this last wish from Alex where he goes back to his younger, immature self. Though I do wonder about Jean. Like, yes, he has gone back to his old self on the outside, but is he still a bit crazy? Is he still a bit, like a little bit mature, like Weiss said? And that's another thing though. People are going to be shipping Weiss with Jean. So, maybe. We gotta see more of these two having chemistry together. I do find it funny though, like Jean, like in the second volume, Jean was trying to get Weiss to dance with him, even though he failed, obviously. And then in this volume, Weiss is the one who's attracted to Jean. Like, I just loved how the tables turned. In the very last scene of RWBY Volume 9, we get a lot of information about the brothers, because the brothers were apparently from the Ever After. They were the first inhabitants, and so they created other inhabitants of the Ever After, including the Curious Cat, who stayed behind as a guardian. This led to the brothers making other worlds, including Remnant, obviously, and we all saw what they did to Salem with her immortality, to Ozpin getting constantly reincarnated. We later learned that the Curious Cat did kill Alex because he felt betrayed. He felt that Alex was leaving him behind because she couldn't bring the Curious Cat with him to Remnant, so we see what drove him mad. Like, we see that what made him the villain of this volume. Like, I didn't think he was going to be the villain of this volume. I thought maybe it was going to be Neo, but apparently he was the bigger threat. If I had to pick, like, a favorite episode in the entirety of this volume, I do like, the episode that we just talked about, but I also like the episode, like, I think it's the third episode in this volume where they deal with the Red Prince and they have that whole chess scene, and then Yang, Blake, and Weiss are shrunk down and they have to fight the pawns and all that. I just loved that episode because of, like, the references, the callbacks to the Queen of Hearts, to the music, to that fight scene. I was just having so much fun with that episode. Now, I don't know if I'm nitpicking, but I do have to address these two flaws. One of them is Lewis and Alex. How did they get to the Ever After? Because they never said that to us at all. Like, did they go after a relic like Team RWBY and then they just fell on accident? Like, what happened? How did they get there? Just, maybe we'll get an answer later, but I feel like we should know now, or maybe we'll never know. We should know. Another flaw that I have with this is just the runtime of each episode. Like, some episodes, like most episodes, I felt like were a bit shorter than they should be. Like, I felt like we could have gotten more time, like runtime for each episode, like at least 20 minutes. So, like, whenever I'm watching an episode, and we're getting close to the end, I'm just like, don't end. And then we get to the credits, and I'm like, fuck. Other than that, it does raise questions like theories, which is a good thing. Like, is Lewis still alive? Like, how old is the story of Ever After? Like, is it 100 years and Lewis is already dead, like of old age or something? Or is it, like, say, 50 years ago and John reunites with Lewis and they catch up, like a really old Lewis? Like, that would be cool, though. I would like that. Best volume in a long, long time. And now the wait begins for volume 10. Just Vakuro, that whole desert community and all that. I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Salem make her next move and how Team RWBY is going to fight back and how they're going to approve and just give Salem a run for her money this time. I can't freaking wait. What did you think of this volume? Did you like it? Did you not? Thoughts down below. And if you are new to this channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm RWBY, and may the anime force be with you.